Wow, back with another Portable Clint. All right, guys, here's the deal. I dig people who don't care what others think. And this dude I worked with before, and the second I met him, I knew I loved him because he is one of a kind. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Norvell. Look at that. Look at this guy.
I'm with the Clintster.
Look at you, buddy.
It's an honor to be here,
Well,
man.
dude, it's an honor to have you, man.
Happy Wednesday. Is
Happy
it Wednesday?
Wednesday. Yeah, it's all day.
These weeks are flying by.
Yeah, dude. You have no idea how fast they fly. Okay, Aaron, where are you from?
Madison, Wisconsin.
Tell me a little bit about your background. Usually I just like to know about your journey to Hollywood, but you got a little backstory that I like. You got a big football backstory.
Just a little.
Tell me a little bit about that before we get into it.
College football, as much as I love Hollywood, but you know what? It's all entertainment, right?
That's right.
College football is entertainment. College football is a humongous part of my family. My dad played college football at the University of Wisconsin, played in the '63 Rose Bowl against USC. They lost.
They lost?
That's okay.
Okay.
My brother was an All-American at Iowa. Went to all his games when I was a kid. Big Ten, obviously, also. And then I ended up playing for the University of Wisconsin, Madison, where that's my hometown. And then, God, afterwards, I mean, I talked football the rest of my life here. But afterwards, I didn't make the NFL. Played pro football in Europe, 3 different countries, Italy, Austria, and Holland. Coached in the NFL Europe for the Amsterdam Admirals. Kurt Warner was on that team the year before. I coached Adam Vinatieri. He was a kicker on that team, and I was the scout team. I ran the scout team, so he was my scout team kicker. He went on to win 4 Super Bowl rings. Fast forward years later, going to all my brother's games. He's coached in 1,000 different places. As I'm doing the Hollywood thing, about 6 years into my Hollywood experience, I got hired off a soap opera by Tom Condon. He's the most powerful sports agent on the planet for CAA. Hired me off a soap opera, and I went from acting on a soap opera after show that we were shooting down in San Diego.
Easy with the Hollywood stuff, Aaron. We'll get to that.
No, but I literally went from shooting a soap opera to next minute I'm working for CAA, babysitting Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Drew Brees, Adrian Peterson. I was there.
Well, what do you mean you're babysitting these guys? What does that mean?
Not really. I shouldn't say babysitting, but a couple of those guys were younger than me. But I got hired as one of the agents for CAA as a NFL agent. My job was to recruit #1 draft choices. So I go to college games for projected clients that are going to make be in the first round. And then also we had 300 something clients on our roster, and there's only probably like 6 or 7 guys in the office. So we have to stay in touch with the current players that we have. Meaning text them, call them, is everything okay? Oh, you need a problem. You got a problem here with something. I can help you out with that.
So you're a fixer in this. Were you a fixer?
Fixer, taking care of them. Like, I didn't negotiate the contracts. Tom Condon did that. He's got the law degree. I didn't have a law degree, but in the CAA world, I was considered an agent for CAA, and I fell under the NFL football bracket where we represented players.
Okay. And before we move on, tell me a little bit about your brother. What's he doing right this second?
Well, my brother right at this second is probably finishing up practice. They got to play the Oregon Ducks on Saturday. My brother is the head coach in Nevada. He's been coaching for 33 years maybe. And this is his 3rd season as a head coach at the University of Nevada. But, I'm not going to lie. I love the guy to death. I'll talk about Jay Norvell any day of the week. He's coached in the Super Bowl for the Raiders. He coached for the Colts when they drafted Peyton Manning. He coached him for 4 years. He coached Marvin Harrison. He coached at the University of Oklahoma, OU, Boomer Sooner, when they played the national championship and lost to Tim Tebow, and I love Tim Tebow. Who doesn't like Tim Tebow? Who doesn't like Tim Tebow?
Wait, don't you have a dog named Tim Tebow?
I named my dog after Tebow. Little Tebow's 10 years old now. He's still kicking. He's slowing down a little bit.
Okay, well, that's okay.
But yeah, that happens.
We all slow down a little bit.
We all slow down. But he's getting ready for the Oregon Ducks game. He's the head coach at the University of Nevada, the Wolfpack.
So wait, let me get this right. You went to go watch them play last week, right?
Absolutely.
And did you give a pep talk to them before the game?
I didn't give it. Well, I always give pep talks to them, meaning like I shoot videos and I send it to a lot of the players, and then I'll send it to coaches, and you show people. So as far as talking to them in the locker room before the game, I didn't do that. But it's the whole game I'm on the sidelines, and it's like I'm an extended coach. So I'm talking to the linebackers, pepping up people, motivating coaches and stuff like that. Since I'm on the sidelines and I played college football and I coached it, I know it. And since it's my brother, it's kind of ingrained, deep love of mine, and it means a lot to me. So it's just natural that I motivate the players. But Ryan Broyles actually gave the pep talk, and he played for my brother at Oklahoma. And he was the all-time leading receiver at the University of Oklahoma. My brother flew him in, and anyway, he probably paid for his own plane ticket. But he's the one that spoke to the team before. But I did give them a pep talk. Motivational video. I do that. That's something I do. That's one of my passions. And if they win, I post it. If they lose, I don't.
Okay, give me an example of what you're saying in these videos that you're sending these players.
Now, for example, last week, I played
Talk
the
to
Big
these
Ten.
guys like this guy's going to go play right now.
All right, for example, so last week what I said to him, I said, hey, I talked to the guys, I say, what's up, boys, your boy Scrap. My nickname's Scrappy, so I talk in the third person sometimes. Oh, what's up, Wolfpack? This is your boy Scrap. I said, you had a big week this week. You got Purdue coming to town. They're a Big Ten team. Guess what? You're 11-point dogs. They're going to give you no respect. They're bigger than you. They're stronger than you. Their program has more money than you. They're probably going to have more fans than you. So what you guys need to do is rise up. As a team, respect from the first play. Out hit, respect. That's how you get respect in football. Knock them in the teeth, knock them in the mouth, let them know that you're there to play. It's all about respect. Take down this big team, and I love you guys, and I want you at the end of the game to say, I just crushed my opportunity to compete against Purdue. You know what I mean? It's simple. Now, I don't try to tell them to show up, people, but I tell them to show up and have respect, because that's what it's all about in college football and in football in general. It's just, you got to go out there, play with passion, let the other team know you have respect, and really out hit. I mean, it's a violent game.
Well, now you know why I love Aaron Norvell. I mean, dude, the passion of this dude.
I love you too, dude. I'm honored you're saying that.
Okay, tell me. Wait, one last question about this. On each game, is there somebody giving a pep talk at the very beginning? Just like you said, a guy flew in. Is there always a pep talk before every game?
Well, some programs got more money than others, and they always have like a big, like for example, like in Alabama, they could have a Kobe Bryant or a Jamie Foxx, you name it. They could have a celebrity at a huge game, at a huge program every week. It's all to the coach's discretion.
Okay.
But before the game on a Friday, my brother's particular team has former players, Wolfpack players that are alumni. He has them come on the day before to the practice, and he has them be out on the field, and they do a walk together, and then they talk about their experience as being a Wolfpack alumni and how honored they are to be called a Wolfpack member, and to tell them to play for respect for everybody who's ever worn that uniform. So there's not every game right before, there's not always a person doing a pep talk, but there's plenty of coaches that are doing that anyway.
Okay.
And players pepping each other up. You know what I'm saying?
Are you watching Hard Knocks at all? Do you watch that?
I did watch Hard Knocks.
I love it.
And I used to be a huge, I'd still like the Raiders. I used to be a huge Raider fan, and then my brother also. And it's funny because I'm from Wisconsin. When you tell people you're from Wisconsin, you cheesehead? Well, I like cheese, but no, I'm not a cheesehead. I don't love the Packers. I've always grown up loving the Raiders because I love that defense. I love that hard-nosed, gritty Raiders. But I did watch Hard Knocks. I don't mean to go off.
No, we're good. I'm just responsible. Okay.
Loved it, by the way. The last episode should be yesterday.
It was last night. I haven't watched it. Me either. Okay.
Good.
Tell me, when do you start thinking Hollywood in your brain?
Hollywood in the brain? I'll tell you exactly when that happened. I was probably, I was supposed to say age. When I was a young lad.
Okay.
When I was a young kid growing up in Madison, Wisconsin, my mother, who just passed away, I love her to death, but I know she's watching us right now.
Yeah.
My mother passed away in May. My mother was in Jesus Christ Superstar. She was in the play Jesus Christ Superstar. She wasn't really an actor, but she was in the choir.
Okay.
And she used to take me to rehearsal. And I used to go and hear them sing, Hosanna, hey, Hosanna, 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 Hosanna. I know every word to every song of the Jesus Christ Superstar. But anyway, it's just being on the set, you've done plays, just feeling that energy. I fell in love with theater, and I just said, I love acting. And then I started recording TV shows and memorizing the lines to Fred Sanford. Every Fred Sanford episode, I used to record that. Good Times, The Jerk. I know almost every line to The Jerk, the Blues Brothers. I used to record them on audio and fall asleep to them and memorize the lines.
Really?
And also The Thing. That's I know every.
Wait, The Jerk, Blues Brothers, and The Thing.
The Thing. It's my favorite movie of all time.
Really? Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell, John Carpenter, 1981, the remake
great.
from the 55 deal.
Yeah, man. I dig it. I dig it. I do. John Carpenter, Kurt Russell, that combo is a great combo. Okay. So when do you start thinking about going to Hollywood? I know you had sports first. Tell me, was it something that happened because sports didn't happen?
Yeah, that's funny. These aren't tough questions. I've answered them a lot of times. Football player my whole life.
Okay.
Football paid the bills, so to speak, right?
Right.
I got a scholarship to play football, to knock people out. Seriously, that's what I did. I played linebacker, so I got paid to knock people out, right? So at college, when I was in college, I was full scholarship football. You don't really have much time for anything else. I didn't rush a fraternity, even though I was kind of an honorary ZBT. But, you know, I minored in theater. You know what I mean? I took acting classes and public speaking and stuff like that. I took stuff that was going to gear me into someday after football giving me an acting career. So like I said, I always wanted to do it since I was a little kid. Always, you know, tried to be the funniest guy in the class. You know, loved stand up to, you know, I did stand up years ago. Always try to make people laugh, entertaining. And after football, after going to Europe, in that time also, like after the Rose Bowl and getting ready to go to Europe, I ran into Chris Farley, who grew up in my hometown. He grew up in my hometown. He was a buddy of ours. He's, you know, about 5-6 years older than me, but his brothers and kind of admired
Kevin and John.
Yeah, they admired us, the Norvells, because we were huge in football. But I always, as a little kid, admired Chris because I always wanted to be on Saturday Night Live. I still say I'm going to be the oldest cast member on Saturday Night Live. Lauren Michaels, trust me, we're going to set a record. I'm going to be the oldest cast member on Saturday Night Live.
I believe
SNL.
it. I believe it.
Mark my words. You heard it here on Portable Clint, baby, on a Wednesday. Okay. True story, man. True story.
Hey, Aaron, I believe it, dude. I believe it.
Things can happen. There's
Dude, amen, brother. Amen.
Anything can happen.
Okay, so I'm back. So you're hanging out?
Yeah, Farley told me, like, I was still playing I was just graduated and I was playing pro football in Europe, and then it was like, it's 6 months in Europe and then 6 months in the States, and I was kind of traveling around the country and selling remanufactured electronics. That's a crazy story in itself. But I ran into Farley. He's like, you gotta go study improv in Chicago. I said, really? Where? He goes, well, you know, I'm a Second City, and then he also did improv Olympic. So I did improv Olympic a little bit, and I knew I always wanted to be an actor, but since I was still making money with football, I hadn't really pursued it.
Yeah.
I studied some improv for a little bit in Chicago for about 3 or 4 months before I had to go back to Los Angeles, and then I said, okay, it's kind of on. So I kind of I did my football over there, played 3 years, coached. And then I got a side job, and actually with football, because my father was the athletic director at Michigan State at the time. I got a side job. I'm at the Big Ten kickoff luncheon, and I'm sitting next to the executive director of the Fiesta Bowl, and he liked me. He said, geez, I like you. What are you doing now? I said, I just got done coaching the NFL Europe. He goes, if I create a job, would you come to Phoenix? I go, sure. So he created a job for me working for the Fiesta Bowl, leading up to the Fiesta Bowl, which is January 1st, and it was Penn State, Texas playing each other. So I did all my duties for that, and then after that game was over, they couldn't pay me year round. So I wasn't going to go back to cold Michigan or cold Wisconsin.
Sure.
I'm going to stay in Phoenix where the sun is. So I started studying really, really, really hard with a theater teacher out of Chicago named Donna DeCarl, and she used to be a casting director here in Los Angeles. But studied really hard with her, and ended up getting my SAG card in Phoenix. You know, I shot a commercial with Sammy Sosa. I did a small movie with Charlie Sheen. Brett Michaels cast me in that. I had one line in that.
Brett Michaels from Poison?
Brett Michaels from Poison cast me. I auditioned in Phoenix, but he saw the tape, and when I saw him on set, he's like, oh yeah, I cast you as the door guy, bro. Congratulations.
Wait, what was he doing directing?
He directed a movie called No Code of Conduct. Charlie Sheen. Who else was in that? I can't remember the guy's name, but the principal in Breakfast Club.
Okay, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
You're gonna get the horns. You know what I mean?
Right.
That guy, I can't remember his name. I think he passed away.
He did.
He passed away. He was in it, and not too many other huge names. But the thing is that movie was gonna go into theaters. But what happened was Charlie went into rehab right after the show was finished. So they just pushed it to video. And that was, I was unfortunate. And he was nice. He's the nicest guy in the world to me.
Really?
The short interaction I saw with him. But check this out. This is what's funny about Hollywood. So since at that time I was an Arizona actor in a smaller market, so the casting directors told me, they actually told me this. They said, listen, you're going to do your scene with Charlie, but do me a favor. Don't look him in the eye and don't talk to him. Just do your scene with him. Don't talk to him. So I'm thinking to myself, like you said, I don't care about nothing, right? I'm a grown man. So I'm doing the scene with him. I want to say hi to the guy, right? So he's by me, and I said, hey, man, how you doing? My name's Aaron, and I'm doing my scene with you. He says, how you doing? My name is Charles. Nice to meet you. And he goes, you look like a friend of mine. I go, oh, yeah, who's that? He goes, Alex Rodriguez. because he's a baseball guy.
Sure.
Ooh, I got a funny story about Alex Rodriguez too. Fast forward.
Bring it.
You want to hear about a Hollywood story out there? World.
Bring it.
Funny stories. We all got funny stories as actors. So check this out, kid. I have a callback for a Pepsi commercial with Alex Rodriguez. Guess what? The morning of the callback, I get jury duty. They selected me in the jury, right?
Right.
So you know how our agents are like, you gotta get to this audition. Not to mention, I wanted to book it, right?
Sure.
So I had to do something to get out of it. So I till this day, I'm so embarrassed. I had to go to the courthouse, okay? And it was Koreans fighting each other over a cleaners. Like they were like fighting over ownership, who started it, the name. I don't know the details. I didn't really care. I just wanted to get out of there.
Sure.
So when they called me in that morning, I said to the judge, everybody's in the courtroom, I said, listen, Judge, I grew up in Wisconsin and
Wait.
and I really can't be here. And they go, what do you mean you can't be here? He says, you don't understand. I grew up in Wisconsin, and my next door neighbors were Koreans, and they used to call me nigger. I'm serious. I said they used to call me that, and ever since then I haven't liked Koreans, so I cannot be. I don't think I could be fair. And the judge looked at me and said, son, you know what? It's guys like you that's making this country, a bad place. You need to get that hate out of yourself, and you need to reform yourself. So I'm going to let you go. I'm going to excuse you. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And the funny thing is that the attorneys were talking to the clients because they didn't understand English. They're like going, he said, and they're looking at me like, I felt so bad because I don't have a racist bone in my body, but I had to come up with something to get to the callback.
Sure.
So check it out. So then I rushed to the callback.
Okay.
I rushed to the callback. It was over there on Pico over by Fox Studios, right? It was on a baseball diamond because it's a baseball edition.
Okay.
So I get out there. I made it, right? I get on set. Check this out. The freaking director goes, we can't use this guy. What do you mean you can't use him? He looks too much like Alex Rodriguez. They look like each other. I can't use him. And I said, I didn't look like him on tape. All of a sudden now
Aaron,
I look like him.
I can't get kicked out of my
Sorry. You're right, sorry. But I mean, like I didn't look like him before. I mean, I put makeup on him, look like him for the audition. I didn't put makeup on. You don't put makeup on for an audition.
No.
I did put makeup on for this, though.
You did?
Teasing you. Teasing you.
Okay.
True story, though, kid.
I believe it.
Jesus.
I believe it. See, guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I love Aaron.
Unbridled energy.
Unbridled energy.
Pure, concentrated energy. Remember that movie, The Time Bandits?
Yes.
Remember that one line? That's pure, concentrated evil. Watch that. Don't let that get away. That's pure, concentrated evil.
I do remember that.
Yeah, it was like a little rock thing. And then they goes, oh, it's and then he touched it and he like blew up.
Yeah.
But you touch me, goodness is going to happen. Touch me, buddy. Touch me.
Okay. All right, here we go. Where were we, Aaron? So you did the thing with Charlie Sheen in Phoenix.
Yes,
they
I
tell
did.
you don't look at him.
Yeah.
And you talked to him.
okay.
It was nice, whatever with that. When do you decide to move to Hollywood to take the next step?
Yeah, also at that time, I shot a movie with George Clooney called Three Kings. David O. Russell cast it. Spike Jonze was in it. So,
Did you get yelled at by David O. Russell at all?
I didn't, but I was right there.
Did you see?
I shot for a whole month. That was kind of like a featured extra.
Yeah.
And we've all done background work. Everybody's done it. But I was on the set for a whole month. So I shot in Phoenix for about out in the desert in Arizona for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they took us to Brawley, California, down by the border of California, El Centro, and then this little town out in the middle of nowhere. And so I was on set for a long time, and my scenes were always with Clooney and Cube, because I was a part of these. And I played an Arab, by the way. I'm black, Italian, American, Indian,
Sure.
like Vin Diesel, but I could play anything. I played Arab before, so they just dressed up put a little head wrap around me, and I looked Arab. So anyway, what happened was one time on set, you know what I mean? Clooney was pissed off about something, but Russell was was yelling at somebody, and Clooney didn't like it. David, by the way, George Clooney, nicest person in the world, coolest celebrity I've ever met in Hollywood.
I like hearing that.
Nicest guy in the world, Midwestern guy from Kentucky. He couldn't have been nicer. He talked to everybody, but he didn't like how Russell was talking to somebody, and they kind of got into it a little bit, and there was a little pushing and scuffling, and it kind of shut down production for about an hour or so. So not Russell wasn't mean. He wasn't mean to me. So but I did witness that.
Okay, which is always kind of fun to witness the legends do their thing, why they became a legend.
Oh yeah.
All right.
That reminded me of Transformers too, because I'm not gonna say anything bad about Michael Bay, buddy. Hey, I'm ready. Fast. Get me back on something. I'm ready. But Transformers, yeah.
Okay, wait. Let's hold off on Transformers because you're still in Phoenix at the time.
I am still in Phoenix. I moved.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved in '99. I just hit my 20th year.
So you moved here in '99.
May of '99.
And then what's the first thing you do when you get out here?
First thing I did, well, I was smart. I mean, this is, everybody gives advice to actors.
Yeah.
This is what I did. There's no blueprint for nothing in this business. But what I did, I came out here first, and I got a job and an apartment before I moved here. A job and an apartment.
That's smart.
This guy right here. I got a job and an apartment. Then I went back and finished up everything, and then I moved out. So the first thing I did is find a job and get an apartment. And a friend of mine, Chris Nelson, a great guy. He's he acts, but he does more stunt work. He's a hockey guru. He played hockey at the University of Wisconsin, and he roped his way into teaching people in Hollywood. Whenever there's something where you need hockey players, he kind of said, I'm the guy. And not only that, he's black. They called him Soul on Ice. But he worked his way into like training and teaching people.
Soul on Ice.
Like Soul on Ice.
I like it. Yeah,
in college, he had a freaking license plate called Soul on Ice in his little Jetta. But he taught Kurt Russell how to skate in Miracle.
Okay.
He also, You're Not Putting Me in the Cool, Batman, the one with Schwarzenegger.
Sure.
When they had a scene where they were skating, he was
Yes.
in that as one of the little villains. And he's just kind of worked his way into being like, whenever there's something with hockey, he's on set doing something. Anyway, to make a long story short, he was a very good friend from college. He played hockey in Wisconsin. I played football. And he already lived here, lived in Westwood. So he let me stay at his house. He gave me a suit to go interview for the Beverly Hills Hotel. I worked at the Beverly Hills Hotel for 7 years, did banquets and bartended over there. And but he also got me my first agent with Bobby Ball. And I'm still with them. Print. First thing was print agent. Bang.
Okay, so what's the first gig you book?
You know Tom Quiche?
I do. Yes, I do.
Big dude, big
Yes,
actor. He's been did a thousand things.
Yes.
He had a really kick. I don't want to swear. He really crushed. He crushed. I just crushed.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
He crushed in first season of Breaking Bad. He played. He was in a trailer, and Jesse had to hide some stuff, and he had to hide his trailer. Jesse had to hide that trailer, and he did it on his little lot. And Tom Quiche is a buddy of mine from New York, a New York actor. Him and I actually got hired on the same day at the Beverly Hills Hotel. The same day. He came from New York. I came from Phoenix. I'll never forget this. We worked one day. And he had already been in the service industry for a while, and he was done. He says, I'm done. And he freaking walked out, and he hasn't been in the service industry yet, and he's works a lot. Big Tom Quiche.
Nice. Okay.
Shout out to Tommy.
Okay. Tell me your first gig. What's the first gig you booked?
Wow, I wasn't expecting that one. The first gig I booked.
Out here.
Holy shnikes. Oh! I remember.
Okay, Aaron.
Sorry, I'm excited. The first gig I booked was the Bet Show, Bette Midler.
Okay.
I was a stock boy in like a 7-Eleven, and I had one line, and but it was pretty nerve wracking.
Why was it nerve wracking?
Live studio audience.
Yeah.
You know that shit.
Yeah.
Live studio audience. And you're with, Bette Midler she's pretty huge.
Did you talk with Bette, or did they tell you not to look at her?
They didn't say that, but she wasn't around me really. We did our scene, but I said hi to her, but it happened so fast. It was a blur. My first, real thing in Hollywood. So it happened so fast, and I was a stock boy, and I said, they were towing her car, and I said, hey, they're towing somebody's car. And she ran by me, she goes, oh, jeez. Sitcoms, right? Audience laugh. Did it 1,000 times too.
Okay. All right. When do you?
That show only lasted one season.
Really? I'm surprised.
Yeah, Bette Midler show.
Okay. When do you start booking a lot, or is it like jobs few and far between? How does it start for you?
A plethora of things. I booked a lot of print stuff early. I still probably could. Look at this mug. I can still book the print stuff.
I remember you had pictures on billboards.
Had a picture on a billboard for Wells Fargo. I had two of them. What was the other one? I had one in Phoenix for Comcast. I want to say I had two in LA, but definitely the Wells Fargo one was kind of cool because he saw it all over Southern California.
Yeah.
And
okay, enough about the print. We're not here about print. We're here about acting.
That's right.
When do you start, like, okay, you book Bet. When do you book your Transformers movie compared to when you started?
That was fast forward. So basically, I got on a fast track pace to, and you get the print agent, and then you get the commercial. I shot some commercials. I shot a Southwest. I shot an Outback Steakhouse was actually one of my really cool commercial I shot. But then the Transformers was after I got hired by. Yeah, it was after I got hired by CAA. That was 07. But I was on a fast track, just co-stars. That's when I started getting my cop gigs. For some reason, I look like a cop. I don't know why.
Hey, man, however you can get hired in this town, go for it.
Yeah.
That's fine. How many times?
And casting directors. Fern Ernstein at CBS told me that too. She's like, hey, don't worry about being typecasted. Just work. And that's,
How many times do you think you've booked parts as cop?
Oh, geez.
And again, this is not a knock on
80% of the time.
But
that's
do you own your own cop outfit by now?
I have a thrift. I went to a thrift store.
Yeah.
And I have there's Hollywood. There's costumes everywhere. I don't have I don't wear the garb. Some of the actors crack me up when they wear
the full effect.
Don't wear the belt.
Yeah,
Just
come on,
I just wear the
Dad.
shirt. But then again, there's also lazy actors, and who knows? There's no formula. Sometimes lazy actors just gonna book it too. But if you're auditioning for a cop role in commercial or TV, I have a thing that says Palo Alto Police. It's got a badge. It actually says security. You can't tell, but it's official looking. And when I'm in it, I look like the real deal.
Yeah,
but
dude,
then you see
you
some
do.
actors that go there and they're just wearing like a T-shirt and like, okay, no big deal. But obviously in Hollywood you don't have that big a deal. But one time I was living in Torrance and I was rushing to a 2.5 Men audition, and I really wanted to book that because I can't even remember the casting director's name, but I never booked more.
That was Valco Miller.
That's right. And I, up in the eighth,
Yes,
the high floors.
yes,
For some
yes.
reason, when you go up the elevators, those are a little bit more.
Yes, they are.
Going up. They're a little bit more tense when you have to
You
get
are
in an
absolutely
elevator
right.
and go up. Where's the bathroom?
Aaron,
I have to
that
leave.
is so true.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that
You're
is
like
very
you're
true.
going up. There's execs up here. It's the stakes have risen. But to answer, I was moving too fast. But I had my cop outfit down in Torrance. I was rushing the 2.5 Men audition. I walked into a 7-Eleven. A lot of times I did that because it was kind of fun to do that. But I'd always get coffee for free. And I was going to get a coffee, and I was coming out of the 7-Eleven, and Torrance police are no joke. Torrance cop was sitting, he was waiting, and he just had his window down. I said, how do I look, man? I'm going to audition for a commercial. How do I look? He goes, wait, why are you wearing that? I said, I just told you I'm an actor. I'm going to an audition. He goes, where did you get that outfit? I said, it's Palo Alto Police. I got it at a thrift store. He goes, do me a favor, stand on the hood. I go, okay. And he goes, don't move. Oh, he tried to punk me too, dude. So I stood on the hood, you know what I mean? Don't move.
Wait, what do you mean stand on the hood?
He says, stand at the front of the hood and don't move. So I
Oh.
stood there for a couple seconds, and then he got on the thing, and he was taking his time. Then he got out, and he starts questioning me. And he's like, so where'd you get that again? And I told him. He goes, how many tattoos you got? And I said, how many tattoos I got? I said, I only got one, Tasmanian Devil, down here. I said, and he kept asking me all these questions, and by the time I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be late to this audition. So finally I said, dude, I showed him my headshots. I said, I'm an actor, bro. And I don't think I had all my pictures on my phone at that time, but I called my agent, and my Jeff Wolf, but I called him and I said, talk to this guy. So he starts talking to the guy. He's, listen, my client's gonna be late to this audition. He's an actor, blah, 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 blah. And that worked. Let me know. But the thing is like, that's in my 20 years, that's the only time it really happened. It doesn't really happen up here, but like, down South Bay, they don't see everybody running around. At that time though, in his defense, there was a guy or one or two guys that were running around robbing people in a cop outfit. So it was something that was hot.
Yeah.
On the wire.
When do you book Transformers, and how do you book Transformers?
Denise Shamian, great casting director. Love you, Denise. She booked me in Next 2 with Nicolas Cage, and she booked me on Last Ship also, that FX.
Sure. Yeah.
With McSweeney.
Yep.
Sweeney.
Yep.
It was after I got done with CAA. I did CAA for a little over a year. Then I came, and they moved me to Kansas City, by the way. They hired me here, and then they moved me to Kansas City.
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, I got a chance to work for CAA, I got to move to Kansas City?
Yeah.
So anyway, after CAA, I come back, I started booking, and the first thing I booked was Next. Remember that TV show on NBC, Next? The redhead cat. I can't remember his name. Damien something. Great actor. He's also on Billions.
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking
Billions,
about.
And he also crushed
as
Steve McQueen.
Yes, he looked just like him.
He crushed.
And he didn't even do anything other than blonde, was to bleach his hair, and that was the only thing he did. He looks just like him.
He's probably a little taller.
Yeah.
Because he was about 2 inches taller than me. He was about 6'2". 6'3". I'm only 6 foot. But booked next, and then I auditioned for Transformers. You know what I mean? I don't remember if it was a callback scenario, but I booked it, and I was head over heels. You know, I mean, we're talking DreamWorks film, we're talking Steven Spielberg, and I auditioned for the first one too. And I remember when I didn't get the first one, but I got the second one, Revenge of the Fallen. And I remember when I auditioned for it, they said it was an untitled Steven Spielberg. That was the first one, but. Yeah, I booked it, and they flew me to. It was awesome, dude. I'm living in Hermosa Beach, dude, and I come out. DreamWorks picks me up in a. You want to talk about first class?
Go ahead.
Pick me up in a limousine. I come out of my, I come out of the house. I get in the limousine. They take me to LAX. Jump on an airplane. Flew me to El Paso, Texas.
Yes.
And then we drove across the border to an Air Force base. Holland Air Force Base in New Mexico to shoot it, and then the other actor who was with me was a guy named Phil Hickey, and he played the president's aide. And he had a huge role in it, and him and I are driving up there, got to know him a little bit, but was on set for a whole week. It was outstanding. My scenes were all with Tyrese and Josh Duhamel. Didn't shoot with what's his name, LaBeouf, Shia, or Megan Fox. They were in a week later. They went to the White Sands in Mexico. But you know, it was an experience that was outstanding. Yeah, we shot on a Thursday and a Friday, and on Friday afternoon, all of a sudden we just stopped. There was light left. Michael Bay, we're done. I go to Josh Duhamel. What are we doing? He goes, Michael wants to go to Los Angeles for the weekend, so they give us a per diem. We're in this little town.
Nice.
We're in this Transformer. Dude, he had his own jet on set. With the Transformers wing, it was awesome. That was cool, Mr. Bay. So then we're in this little town for the whole weekend, going to Chili's, going in those Chili's and Applebee's. That was the only thing that was in this town. And we just kind of, the whole crew and the actors, we stayed all weekend. Demal paid for everything. We drank a little bit. We had a couple soda pops.
I bet.
He's a good Midwestern boy from Minnesota, but he was paying for every drink, right? And I go, dude, you know what? It's my round. And he's like, trust me, I got it. And then one of the other actors goes, dude, do you know how much money he made on the first Transformers? I go, yeah, I'm going to let him pay.
Okay, Aaron, you know what I like about you is sometimes on your social media, you like to show the residuals that you get in the mail. And for a while there, you were showing a lot of residuals from that show, Transformers.
Still, I mean, you know, the year that it came out, it was I think it was the highest grossing film that year until Avatar came out.
And have those residuals been very nice to you?
Yeah, they're good, man. I mean, anytime you get a residual, even if it's,
fun.
You know, it's great. That's why when they were, I think we were trying to vote to outdo those, like not get them in the mail. I kind of like that.
Yeah,
it's like
dude,
Christmas. I want to open up in something. I want to see what I worked on, and I like it. You know what I mean? And but yeah, the Transformers residuals still come. You know, I don't want to say every quarter. You know, because it's still played on everything. You know, FX, pay TV all over the world. And that thing you're saying about the social media, I mean, we have to have fun.
Dude, we have to have fun.
We have to have fun with what we do.
Follow Aaron. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's
Aaron.
like, you know, I had fun opening residuals and making different little skits.
Yes,
I'm opening
dude,
residuals,
yes,
you know?
please,
You gotta have fun in this world, you know?
Aaron, we hit the 30-minute mark. We're going to start winding down. So here comes
already?
Already at 33.
Scheisse.
What was your proudest day in Hollywood?
Oh, my proudest day in Hollywood was...
But wait, before you answer the question, it's about the business. It's not about, I know you just had a beautiful baby.
Yeah.
So let's keep that to the side, even though that's wonderful stuff. Talking career only.
Proudest moment by far, seriously by far, was Danny Glover's theater company, the Roby Theater Company. We did a play about the Haitian Revolution, about Haiti 200 plus years ago, rising up against Napoleon. Toussaint Louverture was the lead, you know, he was a slave. He rose up and he said, I'm tired of being a slave. And he went to the mulattoes. I'm a mulatto, I'm a half-breed, half French, half Haitian. The dark blacks went to the mulattoes and they said, we are tired of being slaves. And they organized a coup to take back their island. And they fought the most powerful army at the time, which was Napoleon's island. And army, and it was like an 8-9 year war. I can't remember now. We did it so long ago how many years it was. But as being a black colored African American, whatever we're calling ourselves these days, I'm black, right? Being able to tell that story in history about a black man being repressed and rising up and winning their independence was the most gratifying, liberating. I mean, the experience, I mean, goosebumps talking about it now. It was an honor to tell that story, to do all the research about how they became slaves and then how they won their island, and then after they got Napoleon and his army to leave, how then the blacks and the mulattoes fought each other for another 4 years. They couldn't get along, so it's another war. It's just it's the Black Braveheart. The story needs to be told.
Wow.
And it's a gruesome story. I mean, I played a character called Andre Rigo. Okay, and he was brutal, man. He had a cane, and he'd pull his cane out. And he had a knife. He'd slice people's throats and stuff like that. I mean, the character development and going deep into the research of that was the most gratifying thing. I mean, I was talking French for 2 years.
I believe it. I believe you did that.
Nous sommes de France. I was French for 2 years. I was France.
Okay, what was the toughest time in Hollywood for you?
Dude, I got fired off I did an infomercial for this company. Dude, it's brutal. I don't know if you've ever got fired. So check this out. I did an infomercial for this I don't even know the name of it. I probably shouldn't mention it. For a razor.
Okay.
I did it for a razor. And in the audition, bro, I had to memorize 3 pages of complete dialogue just in the audition. And I was like, and we're talking long dialogue about a razor. You got to try this razor. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. You do this. You lather your face. This all kind of instructions on how you shave. Audition was. I mean, I've had auditions where I've tanked in the mental. I tanked the Castle audition, and I still got it. But in the audition, I didn't nail it, but I was about 90%. And the guy said, okay, you did a good job, and they like your look, so we're going to go with you. He says, we're going to give you, there's going to be some additional pages, but it's nothing you can't handle. And it was maybe a week. They sent me 34 pages.
Get out of here.
I swear to God, 34 pages of dialogue. And I had
Is there a teleprompter that you get to read off of?
No, 34 pages of dialogue, and you interact with another actor in the thing, but you had to have 34 pages memorized, dude. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. I got to the set and I knew I wasn't ready. They fitted me with a suit. We shot it in a mall in the valley, right?
You're making me nervous right now, man.
Dude, I get on set, dude, and I got through maybe the first page, and then I started stumbling, and when they start, they're like, okay, shit, we're on like 3rd page. We got 34 to go. Then I started getting nervous. I started sweating. I'm thinking to myself, I'm not gonna get through this. I'm doing my best of faking it, right? Next thing you know, they brought a okay, let's just get the teleprompter on. Maybe you can just kind of glance over that and read it. That even made me more nervous. How are you gonna read a whole page of dialogue? So I couldn't do it. So next thing you know, they politely pulled me aside. They said, look, we're gonna go a different direction. And I was like, thank God.
Aaron.
So
were you relieved?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Okay.
They didn't pay me. But they gave me a $900 Hugo Boss suit, right?
Okay, winning.
No, Banana Republic. So I was like, thanks. They said, you can keep the suit. So I took it to Banana Republic and turned it in and said, I did this for a shoot. Can I turn this in? And they gave me credit, and I got a bunch of clothes.
Look at you, man. Okay.
That was the most embarrassing day. I still get, like, my heart starts beating every time I drive by that mall. You know that mall sitting off the 101? Right by Coldwater in the Bloor Park. Whenever I drive by that mall,
Sherman Oaks.
That's where I got. Yeah, Sherman Oaks.
Sherman Oaks Fashion Center.
That's where I got fired.
Aaron, what's your number one goal out here? What do you want to achieve in Hollywood besides being the oldest cast member on SNL? What's the thing that you want to do? That you want to achieve out here?
Series regular. I want to be series regular, and on a really good show, and provide for my family. I want to be a series regular. Okay,
now the very ending here, we're gonna talk about something very passionate to you.
Sure.
Don't yell when we start talking about
I don't want to get thrown out of here. Even though it's getting louder now, we can blend.
I know it.
We can blend in now.
Tell me about your new passion piece, I Just Crush.
It is passion. As you see, guys, it's called #I Just Crush. But anyway, so check this out. Our agents they want us to have a social media footprint on the internet. So like I said, I usually post videos all the time just to kind of make people laugh. My goal in life is to spread positivity. Whenever I post something, there's so much negative stuff in the world. You turn on the news, and even negative stuff on the internet. So my goal is to just push out positivity, if I can make someone laugh, make someone giggle every day, that's a win-win for Aaron Norvell. So after auditions for 3 or 4 years, I would say, you don't know if you're going to book an audition, but I said, I just crushed this audition. I just crushed that audition. And I'd say it in many different ways. I'd sing it, every time I did it, I wouldn't say it the same way. but I said it so many different times. It started,
What I like about I'm sorry, Aaron.
Yeah.
What I like about you is you'll come out, as soon as you come out of the audition room, you'll press record and you will film yourself walking to the car talking about how you just did at the audition.
Yeah.
Which is fun, again, to follow. Go ahead.
I just crushed, and so what I started doing is people started seeing my videos, and I'd go to the gym. I'm like, dude, I saw you crushing another audition. I said, oh, okay, you saw that. Then people would send me videos from all across the world, say, hey, guess what? I just crushed. So I started doing it in other aspects of my life. I just crushed this workout. I just crushed doing 20 push-ups. I feel great. I just crushed cooking breakfast with my wife. That is a great morning. And I just crushed it.
I even fell for this one day. I was coming out of an audition and you were driving by.
That's right, out there in the valley.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that was for, but yeah, I just turned the camera on. I said,
Yeah.
hey man, are you gonna
I
crush?
just crushed. Yes.
I just crushed.
It just instantly came to me. That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Well,
that's a good thing to have.
At this point, I've been doing it for about a year now, and I love it. And I just want to say it so much that it's in people's heads. Either you're going to get annoyed, or it's going to be a party. Oh, I just crushed. I just crushed. I just accomplished something that I want. So I want people. So what happened was, I bought the trademark, so I own the 3 words. I just crushed. I got big plans for it. I can do it with charities. I can do merchandise.
You just made your first round of T-shirts.
Just made up my first round of t-shirts right here. I just
Look at
crushed.
that. How often are you wearing these?
Well, I just got them last Friday, so I wore them at the football game up in Reno, and then people wanted them and stuff like that, and we're still working on the business plan to put it out there.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give them to influential people. I got to give you one. I forgot, but I wanted to give them to influential people to wear it and talk about the hashtag. And just what I want is this people. What it is just. Whatever you do in your life isn't I just crushed. Throughout the day, you did something that you're proud of. So I just ask people to post positive videos about something they enjoy. I just crushed laying on the beach. I'm relaxing. I just crushed hanging out with my mother. I haven't seen her in a long time. Anything you can think of, it's simple. I just crushed, and then explain what you did or what you're proud of, and post a video to hashtag I just crushed.
Okay, Aaron, you just crushed this interview at 41 minutes, dude, and I loved every minute of it.
Right.
Very entertaining. Like I said, dude, I dig you because you walk the beat of your own drum.
Well, thanks for saying that, man.
I'm serious. I dig you a lot. Aaron, do me one last favor. Will you tell them goodbye out there?
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching The Portable Clint. This guy rocks. I love him, and thank you so much for watching The Portable Clint. We just crushed.